Welcome to the After the Show podcast. And if you feel like you have too many tabs open at all times in your brain, you are not alone, as we touched on in the morning pick-me-up today.
Yeah, I'm really glad that you brought that one in, Jodi, because that is something that it's an epidemic I think everybody experiences today. And I wanted to share something really personal that I think will be helpful. It's personal, but it's also, I was very surprised at how AI guided me through this part.
So also an epidemic.
Yeah. And, you know, what happened is we got to the end of vacation, and of course I had been sick. So, you know, when you're not feeling well, you're already not very clear mentally anyway. And trying to get ahead for work, I didn't know where to start. I mean, my list was literally so long. Every time I looked at it to try to start, and I'm usually I'm motivated. Yeah. I get in and I'll organize and compartmentalize it and get it structured the way it needs to be and prioritize. That's usually not a problem, but I really succumbed to the whole too many tabs open thing, Jodi, like you were saying. And so I did 3 attempts, and I was just blown away. So I decided, you know what? Let me just see if AI can shed any light on this for me.
Okay. So you opened another tab.
Right. You're right, Sam.
In your brain.
But this one actually helped. And so, you know, I hope that the reason I want to share this is because I'm telling you, I went from being anxious to, wow, I was clear within 15 minutes.
Okay. So you got some guidance.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so this is what I asked it. Wow, this is my exact words. Wow, I'm looking at my to-do list after a week on vacation where I was still working for most of the vacation, and it's like a brain resistance. Like I don't want to deal with any of the list, trying to push through because it's tomorrow, and I'm ready to get back to reality, but it's literally everything, and it feels overwhelming. Mm-hmm. So because it's overwhelming with whole lot of priorities that I know that I need to vet and resort, I'm just too tired to even begin. So how do I get my focus back? How do I get myself motivated to do this? And
so funny. I would never think to ask AI for this sort of advice, but this is the world we live in.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So this is the answer. Murphy. Started with my name.
So personal.
This is not a motivation problem. It's cognitive overload and depletion. And so your key reframe is that your brain is protecting you, not failing you.
Oh, wow. That's true.
When you've been on during vacation, your nervous system never really downshifted. Now you're staring at a list that represents future labor, unresolved decisions, and identity pressure. Of course your brain resists it. That's healthy. Now, this is AI telling me this.
Which AI is this, by the way?
ChatGPT. So we're not going to push through. What we're going to do is lower the activation energy until the momentum comes back.
Oh, are
That's
you going to start throwing that term around? Let's lower our activation energy.
No.
I'd like
it sounds like you would, yeah. So in bold, first, do a 90-second nervous system reset. This is one that I know to do because it's a basic and fundamental of meditation and everything. But when you're all caught up, this is a perfect example of how emotion will derail you every single time.
Yes.
First, a 90-second nervous system reset. This matters more than the list right now. Put both feet on the floor. Inhale through your nose for 4 seconds. Hold for 2. Exhale slowly for 6. And then repeat that 5 times. This shifts your body out of the threat response and back into executive function. You can't prioritize anything while stressed. It's just biology, not weakness. And that's
fantastic.
True. And anybody can do that. You can. That's why it's the simplest form of meditation, and breathing is the simplest thing to focus on because you can take it with you anywhere.
You know, the first thing they're telling you is that it's your brain protecting you, and you're not wrong to feel that way, is so beautiful because you immediately don't feel like you're wrong. You immediately you're given permission to feel however you feel about it, but focus on the facts, not the feelings. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like
because you're wound up because you're trying hard on that. But the harder you try, the more that the emotion comes in. The more that the emotion comes in, the more you're going to derail.
Always.
And so yeah, you're exactly right. And
great
then
advice.
It says second. Okay, so now you've finished breathing and all that, and I did. I always feel better when I do that. The second thing was, and again, this is one of those where I know this already, but you have to be reminded. You always have to go back to the basics because, you know, I think the older we get, we blame ourselves for, well, I've known this, I've done this, I've been there, done that. But life is all about the reset and starting over again. It's like the old football. It's the football analogy. You know, they play a game, but they're going to go back and do the team's going to go back and they're going to practice every single week, no matter how many years you've been playing football. Anyway, So it said second, stop looking at the list. Right now, your to-do list is lying to you. It's saying everything matters, everything's urgent, you're behind. None of those are true. So for the next 15 minutes, don't try to fix that list. Do the one-page reset. Grab a blank page, of paper, or if you want to use a notes app, that's fine. Just don't use your task manager. Now, for me, that meant I needed to use pen and paper because the computer screen is what starts to, get to me after a while. And title it, What Actually Matters Before Tomorrow. Step 2, write down only 3 items.
Very good.
Oh.
Love it.
There are some rules, though, before you write these down. They must reduce anxiety, not create more work.
Yeah.
They must protect tomorrow only and not solve your whole life.
Yes.
And if completed, they do make tomorrow survivable.
Man, this is therapy.
Isn't it wild? Now, this is all
good.
ChatGPT.
Which means it's all a lot of advice in this sort of category coming together, the best of the best.
Yeah. And so examples, could be, respond to an email to stop it lingering or clarify the 1 or 2 top work priorities. Basically, what it says is to be specific. Mm-hmm. A lot of our to-do lists tend to be like, groceries. Well, what does that mean?
Yeah.
That doesn't mean you can't take action on that.
Grow my business.
Right. Yes, exactly. That's very generic.
It is too big.
Yeah.
We all want to do those things, but
it's an umbrella, but it needs little actions underneath it.
Right. The devil in the details.
Yeah.
Like it's in specific things that things happen.
Yeah. So we've got the blank page of paper now. We're only going to write down 3 things that need to be done. Those are the most stressful. We know that those are priorities. And then it says, shrink the first task until it feels almost stupid. Your resistance isn't to the work. It's to the size and ambiguity. That's what's overwhelming you. So instead of writing something like reorganize your priorities, you write down open Todoist, which is the task management system I use. But whatever you would do, open your notes, whatever. Scroll without editing for 2 minutes. Only pick one task that truly matters.
That's so good.
Momentum follows clarity, not motivation. I thought that's really cool. That makes sense because when we're stuck, obviously we're not clear.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then
it's fantastic.
Yeah, and then it's this is the part that really it goes longer. I'm not going to read the whole thing to you, but it said reframe tonight's goal. This is critical. Tonight is not about being caught up. Tonight's win is I reduce tomorrow's chaos by 10 to 20%. Anything else is a bonus.
Nice.
So again, you're just trying to disarm the emotion out of it to get rid of the.
And this was the day before we came back.
Day before we came back. Now,
I remember you disappeared into your office for most of that evening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
with ChatGPT.
Yeah. And so it even said your counselor might say, a good therapist, you're not overwhelmed because you're incapable. You're overwhelmed because you care. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, I got it once I went down. And I wrote down, because I knew my priorities, but I also knew I had 65 some odd things sitting on the list. But once I wrote those things down, the 3, I was good.
Right.
I mean, I was immediately better and knew if tomorrow comes and goes and I get these 3 things done, the rest can wait another day.
Because 3 is not insurmountable.
Right.
Okay? It's just not. You can do the one day at a time thing, the one task at a time thing, but it's what you focus on. What's so interesting about what you're talking about, and you do have this because you always, Murphy, have so much, so many people counting on you in so many different lanes that you try to go into every single day. I've had that happen to me. The brain shut down. Like, I don't even know where to start. Just as a woman in my home, in our home, there are days when it's like every room needs my attention. And I'm walking from one room to the next. I'll start something in the laundry room, and then let me do this on the way in the kitchen. And then I'm so overwhelmed, I sit down and read a book because I don't know what to do next. And my brain is shutting down going, you can't process all of this. And so I need to do the same and go laundry room only or, groceries only. But when everything is calling you, your brain does protect you. You're right.
Yeah.
And you see it as a failure. Like, I don't know what to do, but it's not.
Yeah.
And you sharing that helped me understand that better just now.
Well, what you're describing is the same thing as a to-do list. It's still around you. Mm-hmm. That's why the environment that you work in is so, it's important for it to not feel cluttered and overwhelming because all of those are stressors. And, to me, the weirdest thing, and this is the geek part of me that really is deep into the psychological part of this, but, as humans, we have to be emotional. The emotional component is what separates us from everything else. It's also the catalyst for good things. It can be the catalyst for bad things too, but emotion creates passion and activity. So it's necessary, but it also gets in the way in clouds. There, that's what you're describing. By the moment you start feeling pressure, you have already emotionalized it. And until you get past that part, you're not going to make the clear best decision. You're going to make what feels urgent because you're reacting to it, and rarely is that going to be the the top priority, or
that's
thing.
why you guys hear me say this all the time. Focus on the facts of the situation now, not feelings. And then we'll deal with the feelings later.
Yeah.
We have I say that to myself.
Yeah.
What are the facts here? What are the feelings?
Yeah,
because both exist.
Yeah, I think you're good at that. Like anything, you got to give your body a chance to get out of the emotional state before you can actually get to that logical place.
That doesn't mean I'm not an emotional person. I think I am.
Yeah. And look, and it's not easy because we're not wired that way. It's why it's why you actually have to be deliberate about it, because we get caught up in the moment. It's what we do as humans. It's a totally human thing.
Sam does too. He knows he gets caught up in the emotion of things and the way things should be, and you're working on it.
One of the things you said reminded me of that, Murphy, where you said because of who you are, you know what's right.
You care,
and you want to want to take care of what's right, but there's only one of you.
Right.
You can't take care of all 65 things right now.
Right. And then some of those things are, some of those are things that aren't necessarily a priority. And that's a very difficult one. It's like, is this really one? Or do I need to be the one to do this? Or what's the next, action?
With me, I got to decide what I need to let go until later.
Yeah.
And you're talking about work stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, there's personal stuff too. Okay. It's just like do what you, I guess, which is the same as pick your top three, basically there.
Yeah. I mean, it is a total 21st century, 2026 kind of thing. It's the reason we have to reinvent no matter, where we get. And if you get to a place in life where you don't have to, but, most people who are having to go to work for a living every single day and it's time consuming. It is what it is. We've got more things that are coming at us now than have ever come at us before. And so we really do have to continue to learn and adapt to those things.
I think our brain chemistry is different now because of all the tech in our lives and all the constant need to, for example, we were watching Stranger Things recently, and I was having a conversation with somebody about it, and it's like, back then, you look at that, if you were not home when someone called you, you didn't know they called you, and you missed their phone call. It was a time in life when you could miss a phone call. Now, if you happen to miss one, you have an alert. So-and-so called. Sam called. I wonder what's up. Let me call him back.
Yeah.
So almost to the point where when we are sitting at a red light in the car, we do not just let those seconds pass. We pick it up.
Right.
And that is rewiring our brains, and not for the good. I also heard recently that we're raising a generation of children who have devices, and that's going to become for them like whatever decades ago when people didn't know that smoking was bad for you. Like everybody was smoking and nobody knew it was bad for you. Yeah. And now it's like does nobody realize that this is not good for our brains?
Yeah.
This constant need to be on, be active, be connected. It's so good to disconnect. We have to work at teaching disconnection because of the constant ability to be engaged.
Yeah.
Technically.
Well, it'll be really interesting to see how things play out in Australia, where the laws have now passed,
social media.
Kids aren't going to have that kind of access. Mm-hmm. And, will that be, especially during those really important early developmental years,
it's still
what kind of difference that will make?
It's still a thing that lies with the parents and in the home, and to be enforced with the parents, because as soon as they pass those social media laws for the ages, those fake things were popping up. The kids were finding a way technically around and getting on this social media site or creating new ones. So they've already started to deal with that. Yeah. So if those kids are not, in a home where that's being watched, they're still going to they're going to live that way.
What's funny is my kids are my own little science experiment with this, because I have two older ones, Sammy and Will, 36 and 31.
Sure.
And Maddie, Jack, and Parker, 22 and 20.
Who've been raised in different times.
Two millennials, two Gen Z.
Yeah. And Sammy and Will and their wives, you can text them. You may not hear from them for a day. Yeah. You may not, and you may not hear from them at all, or it's like it's not it. And if I go to their house, they're not walking around with it. It's
Right.
like it's put over in the kitchen, and if I pass by it, I'll check it. But otherwise, the other three, Maddie, Jack, and Parker, this is always in their hands.
Yeah.
Everything they do, they're walking with it. If you text Maddie, you get an almost instant reply.
Right.
Whereas
it's
you
just-
like that, and she probably likes that. That's normal.
It's
to her.
convenient, but
is it
it's
good for the
not
brain?
healthy.
Is it good for the brain chemistry? Is it good for balance? Is it good for mental health? Is a good question. But
But I
something
also
we shall
wonder.
see in
I
time.
wonder if my, the three little ones, it's just an age thing, or is this because the way they are, is that going to translate over as they get older? Mm-hmm. Because it's two different kinds of generations.
It depends on how communication, works for it's what you're exposed to. It's the way you start, what you're connected to. But yeah, times do change. Whatever the next evolution of that technology may be, you may not have your phone on you. It may be everything's in your earbuds
It's a
and
neurotransmitter.
and voice controlled or whatever. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
Crazy world it could be.
Yeah. So
Thank you, though, Matt Murphy, for this.
So, the bottom line is after all of that, it was really stopping, breathing, putting away the technology for a minute, and then writing down what I felt was, important. And I couldn't actually, I feel almost silly that I had to stop and ask AI that, which is something I already knew anyway in the first place.
Right.
So if that helps you, let's throw that one in with the No Pressure New Year that Jodi's got going.
So did you ever tackle the other 62 problems?
Hey!
Oh, my God. You're stressing me out, Sam.
Subscribe to the Murphy, Sam, and Jodi podcast. Free and easy.